and I failed.
Okay.
So I'm just going to fumble on through it. Now, we all know the Obama campaign and the presidency has embraced technology in unprecedented ways, blah, blah, blah. But what I keep coming back to is this. The Obama campaign used their website, used their social networking, used their email list as a giant ATM. They raised gazillions of dollars, and they spend almost all of it on TV ads. The big game killer move at the end for them was to block out a half-hour special on 3 broadcast networks. So there's a lot of talk. I mean, I'm sure we've heard on your guys' show. You're giving me a very dubious look, Megan. So am I. There's been a lot of talk on your show and elsewhere on, how technology has changed politics. But I'm wondering, given how it all seems to take place on broadcast TV or loose TV, are we overstating the degree to which new media and new technologies have changed the game of both politics and media?
No, absolutely not. The last campaign was revolutionary. Barack Obama raised $647 million. Raised an awful lot of it on the web. I was out in Iowa back in 2004 and was absolutely fascinated by Howard Dean's campaign.
And we all know how that one went.
Well, the thing is, though, he had built, remember 2003, some of you in here were 14 years old at the time, but for those of you old enough to remember 2003, Howard Dean had a huge rally in Bryant Park a year before the primaries began. He got that through networking on the internet and some other things. He built this great force, but
one of the criticisms
he wasn't able
that they blew all the money and they couldn't spend it on actual
He
advertising.
wasn't able to convert, though, the online excitement into votes in Des Moines. Barack Obama and David Axelrod and that remarkable campaign team realized that you use the internet for certain things, social networking for certain things, but you also use the traditional 30-second ad for certain things because that's what the people win elections for. Think about this. The same people that voted for Barack Obama helped him win, helped George Bush win twice, helped Bill Clinton win twice, helped Ronald Reagan win twice. Those people in the middle of America that swing elections, they are the ones that watch what's on TV now. The Bachelor. They're the ones that watch The Bachelor. So you do 30-second spots on The Bachelor, but you gin up your base, which is critical to getting people knocking on doors, talking to people.
Okay, but there's the committed and the persuadables and the undecided. Right. And you win with the undecided.
Yeah,
you don't the undecided.
Those are the people, though. A lot of those people.
Mika, are you just going to let them go on like that? Or
no, a lot of those
I'm going
people.
to interrupt.
Okay, because you have run 4 or 5 campaigns. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. No, I just think that it's not the people that watched The Bachelor that might have gotten involved with the Obama campaign, and maybe some did. But what's interesting, and I've already forgotten what the question was.
Yeah, so
she is.
Are we overstating?
No, actually, it's just, there's been a delay. But I see this White House using the same tactics, and I still think the story has yet to be told. But they discovered out on the campaign trail about how to reach people. I see them doing things that past administrations would never do, and I see them doing it with confidence. And such as appearing on the internet, going on YouTube, talking to cable hosts, inviting cable TV shows into the White House. They're confident, and they are not afraid of engaging, and there is some knowledge they have brought with them from the campaign trail, from being able to connect with people and being able to capture that nebulous and very difficult to sort of capture place, the internet, to reach people.
Well, sure, but I mean, a lot of what we're talking about didn't exist in 2004. There was no YouTube in 2004. There was no Facebook in 2004. No Twitter.
There was the internet.
I mean, I'm giving you guys a chance to totally whack the internet. I mean, and say TV, yeah, So.
The internet does certain things, and like for instance, it builds your base. If you're on the left, especially. It helps you raise money. If you're on the left or the right, you can talk about Barack Obama. Also look at Ron Paul. Ron Paul raised more money than any other Republican in the 3rd and 4th quarter of 2007, which is just remarkable for a guy with Ron Paul's positions and lack of support. Now, he couldn't convert that to votes because he wasn't able to take what he generated on the internet with his base and convert that into
Yeah.
The persuadables, as you say, in the middle with 30-second spots, but still, that is the future.
Yeah.
At what point does it all become noise? I mean, I feel that maybe Obama has sort of an advantage here because he got there first. He's playing this better than anyone else did. But, I mean, is it your assumption that every candidate does what he did, and that, you know, the net effect is diminished somewhat? I mean, are people going to get excited about social networking around Mitt Romney?
No, they're not. It depends on who carries the message. But he won't do it. But it's talking about how the internet impacts elections and TV.
Yeah.
Mika will tell you, I think, and go and tell them how remarkable it was early in the campaign. We have BlackBerries at our side. We say something at 6 o'clock. At 6:01 in the campaign, we would get an email from Bill Burton with the Obama campaign. We would say, well, the Obama campaign says this. At 6:03, Howard Wolfson would email us. At 6:04, and so we got almost even now the White House,
Well, now
which
we
watches
got it
the
with
show.
Trump.
Yeah,
As
but
the
they email us
administration
every
begins,
week.
they've continued with the communication, with the engaging with the conversation. If we've been wrong or if they felt we've been wrong, they'll email us and say why they think they're right. And it's been seamless. I've never seen anything like that before.
Are the Republicans up to speed in getting their points out?
No, and I think that, you know, there may be the new Republican conservative voice emerging the same way Barack Obama did. It's no one who's out there now.
But the Republicans don't get it in general about what's happened over the past couple of years. They were terrible social networking, terrible even using BlackBerries, and sending us the same type of messages that Democrats send us in real time. I mean, you say something, Media Matters will send me an email in real time. I don't have to go home and have somebody say, oh, Media Matters just called you a Nazi. I can actually get it on my BlackBerry as I'm talking, and I turn to me and say, well, maybe we should correct this. Actually, Mark Finkelstein with...
Newsbusters.
What's with Newsbusters?
They love me.
Now he has his own blog. He's one of the few that's real time. But Republican, and one other thing I want to, because there's this openness with the Obama White House, we usually work, because Mika usually is a little center-left on political issues, I'm center-right, some would say far-right, and we balance each other out. Over the past month, though, we've both been very concerned about the stimulus bill and a lot of the bailouts, and we've been very critical of the Obama White House. And yet the Obama White House asked us to come over and do the show live there, which is something, if I have found with Republicans in Congress and the Bush White House, if you were with them 95% of the time, they hated you. Because of the 5% of the time that you disagreed with them. Obama's completely different and his White House is completely different.
Do you expect that to continue? I mean, as Obama realizes, the Obama campaign realizes, gee, those guys actually are our friends. And that it is essentially an adversarial relationship.
Of course it is, and I think that, I get the feeling Robert Gibbs, he's getting a lot of criticism right now, but I'm not sure he isn't really smart. It's just the way he's handling the press, and if he's presenting the right attitude. I think he's engaging in the intellectual conversation that he believes certain people who represent the media perhaps may represent the feelings that are out there, and he's going there.
But you asked...
Will it last?
Yeah.
If they're smart, it will. And I actually think the bigger challenge will be for us, because they are so in our face and so welcoming that you have to assume, in a way, they are using us to get their message across in a way that's never been done before, because we've never had such open access, such open interaction with them. So it presents a new challenge.
But let me say really quickly, though, you said we're adversarial, and I know a lot of people say that the press should have an adversarial relationship with the White Houses and politicians. I don't see it that way, and David Axelrod really doesn't see it that way.
Let's talk to David Axelrod in 6 months and see what he says.
Well, but David Axelrod, though, and I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
Is that David Axelrod, anybody that knows him knows, the man is unlike most people in politics. He's incredibly well-grounded. He understands that it's not personal. In fact, I said to him, when we were at the White House, I said, man, David, you know, we've been pounding you guys for the past month. And he said, yeah, but I heard you guys pounding George Bush all the time, too. And we've told everybody, this is not personal. This is business. He said, as long as you're consistent, say the same thing about us that you said about them,
Well, it's confidence.
It's confidence. Yeah. And it's also in their best interest. The Bush White House was very short-sighted, again, shooting at everybody that crossed them.
Yeah, well, I don't want to get us off on like the road of administrations.